What's up, everybody? Hey, Tom Laird here, host of the Advice from a Call Center Geek podcast and founder of Expivia. For exceptional contact center outsourcing, trust Expivia. We're fully AI-driven, as all of you know, and can handle voice, email, chat, and all of your digital channels. Our 600-seat USA contact center is expert in healthcare, financial services, insurance, tech support, retail, and more. Experts on the NICE CX1 platform, we ensure seamless customer experiences. DM me or visit expiviausa.com for more.
This is Advice from a Call Center Geek, a weekly podcast with a focus on all things call center. We'll cover it all from call center operations, hiring, culture, technology, and education. We're here to give you actionable items to improve the quality of yours and your customers' experience. This is an evolving industry with creative minds and ambitious people like this guy. Not only is his passion call center operations, but he's our host. He's the CEO of Expivia Interaction Marketing Group and the Call Center Geek himself, Tom Laird.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Advice from a Call Center Geek, the call center and contact center podcast, where we try to give you some actionable items to take back in your contact center, improve the overall quality, improve the agent experience, hopefully improve your customer experience as well. My name is Tom Laird. I am the CEO here at Expivia Interaction Marketing. Expivia is a 600-seat call center outsourcer located here in northwestern PA. How's everybody doing as I'm recording this? It's the week after Thanksgiving. I hope everybody had a great holiday. Kind of back in the grind after, what I like to call call center Super Bowl, right? With Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and then that weekend in between. It's always really big for outsourcers, especially to have a lot of retail clients like we do. So it's been a lot of fun. But it's been a little hectic. It's always this time of year where I start to either reminisce about the previous year and think about what episodes I want to do that maybe has to do with that. But then I always think of how can I add more value? And I think, one of the things that I've been discussing today on LinkedIn with a lot of different people is, and it came from being in that top 25 ICMI thought leader, they send out questions to us like once a month and just say, hey, can you guys answer this? And the question, for this month, obviously being the end of the year is, hey, what are some of the looking into your crystal ball, some of the things that you foresee happening or some predictions you have for 2023 when it comes to the call center and contact center operations. So of course that got me typing and thinking and I've had these thoughts in my head and kind of putting them on paper today. I think, really will make a pretty cool episode for everybody. So I have three kind of predictions that I think I've set on. I've probably had about 6 or 7 of them, but I think these three are things that I'm pretty adamant about. And you guys all know where I stand on AI, and I want to focus on AI because I probably downplay it too much, and it needs to be becoming more front and center because I'm starting to really see it have an impact in how we do operations and from the self-service model and also from how different things internally really work within the contact center. So I don't want to get into chatbots and natural language processing because that's its own 42 episodes in itself. And again, I got to bring on some really good guests that I think I have set up for 2023 for that. We can go back and forth on where we see the technology of where that is, the utility of it. Is it more of a frustration right now? I think we can have that conversation. But I don't want to do that today. I want to talk the positive aspect from my perspective on AI, and really the three areas that I see it having a huge impact in the contact center, especially as we look at 2023. The first is Agent Assist. Agent Assist is really something that I probably about 2 years ago, and that's how kind of new I think the technology was, at least for me. And then in 2022, having a bunch of people come on that were really smart in the space and really almost honestly just talked to me about it and really got me interested in it. So I've done a lot of deep dives into, Agent Assist, and I really see where this could have a huge impact. And it's starting to already have a huge impact in call center operations. When you're really using the words, right, the transcription of a customer and then in real time, using AI to pull out different concepts and different things in kind of the path of an agent and where they can go with this, and having kind of that big brother right with them as they're on these calls. I think it's just getting better. I'm starting to see, and I'm not going to name names, but I probably can name names after the first of the year. There's a couple really large telephony platforms that will be coming out with their own agent assist product, right? There's a lot of third parties, and we've had a couple on here with Balto, with Level AI. But they're starting to see, these large telephony CCaaS platforms are starting to see it. So they've either developed their own, and one of the things that I see is I see a lot of these smaller third parties getting gobbled up, right? Because the technology that they've developed is really cool. And, for a lot of these CCaaS players, it'd be much easier and probably more cost effective if they went out and purchased this technology. But I think you're going to start to see that more mainstream in 2023, and a lot more contact centers are going to be looking to implement it. I think when you see a downturn in the economy as well, it's almost a recession-proof piece of technology, right? Because I think it can make you more efficient. I think it can, make associates more aware of cross-sell, upsell opportunities, and I think that there's a revenue path for that product. The other thing is just the kind of the mother of all that product is just speech analytics. I think in 2023 you will start to see real-time analytics. I know it's kind of out there, but I think real implementation of seeing calls like go south on a supervisor dashboard, right? That your QA, I call it EQA, Expivia Quality Assurance, but your QA can hop on. So instead of having us to just try to listen to calls and see what's going on, to have a visual aspect of what's happening on calls, right? As they're really happening, right? To be able to tell if a customer is irritated as they're on the call, and to give that supervisor some support or more, instead of kind of choosing that needle in a haystack, to be able to go and hop on those calls and help those agents that may have that rough customer, or help that agent that shows negative sentiment as well and maybe isn't having their best day. I think that's a really cool tool in something that you're really going to see. The other thing is we're starting to see tone get implemented more in analytics, right? So before we just had all the bubbles and all the trending keywords, super cool, right? But the missing piece of this was always the tone, and that's so difficult to do. And I think AI is having an impact in being able to kind of tell what's actually happening with a trending keyword, positive or negative. And because of this, I think, I know I've been saying it for a while, but I really believe that 2023, you're going to start to hear more about sentiment scores than you're going to hear about NPS and CSAT. Not that they're not important, but I think you're going to start to see more of the technology take the piece of the QA and the scoring and the actual surveys that we're asking customers to take. They're going to start to go away. Another aspect of that we don't talk about enough, and it's what is happening with AI with the internal call center operations, right? Probably the number one way that AI is being used that no one talks about is workforce management, right? From the amount of math and the amount of work that comes from a programming standpoint that AI can have a huge impact and is starting to have a huge impact is real-time forecasting, right? So, getting down to schedule adherence, getting down to how many calls are actually coming in into your call center or will be predicted to come into your call center. I think the technology with that is almost remaking what workforce management was, and is having a huge impact in the contact center and making us better as an industry. Because the better that we can staff, the better that we can see where occupancy comes into play, the better that we can come to see where shrinkage comes into play. The better we can staff, the better our service levels are going to be. I think that's that's a huge piece of the AI pie. The other thing that, again, I call it, because again, you guys know I use NICE CX1, and they call it workforce intelligence. And AI is having a huge piece in this. And basically what this is predicting queues, right? And moving agents in and out of skills, based on predicted wait times, right? So they didn't happen yet, but the AI and the technology is predicting that, whether the call's in the IVR or looking at workforce management, that this is a huge interval that's about to happen, that it brings agents in, these reserve agents, to take these calls, make sure that we maintain a service level. And once that volume is starting to drop off, to move them back into those other skills that they were in. You see this a lot. We don't like to talk about it, but a lot of times sales takes precedence and a lot of call centers over actual service, right? Because you want that revenue coming in. I'm not saying I agree with it, disagree with it, but we see that a lot where there is different skill levels for our clients based on those different skills, whether it's service or whether it's sales. And you can, if we see predicted wait times in sales, we might take those service agents, right? Try to sell those, get those customers, make sure that we maintain a service level of a 90-10 or an 80-30 or whatever that is, and then move them back. So again, I think that's really where you're starting to see the impact of AI, right? Not only just everybody talks about the assistance that it's helping agents, but I think it's helping call center managers. It's helping us take things that we had to think about and doing it just so much faster and better than how we can do it. And you really start to see that when especially like with us, when we see all these upgrades that are happening to workforce management, the forecasting tools are just so amazing now. I love the workforce intelligence, right? To be able to, for us, for a client, almost guarantee a service level, right? Because that you can bring people in before that queue actually hits. I think that those are really amazing tools. And, again, you cannot understate the value of speech analytics. When you get into analytics, you can get into customer journey software. And that kind of all ties. Analytics is really kind of the mother of all the newer technologies, right? It's the kind of the mother of all AI as well, right? Because everything kind of, as long as you understand what is being said on calls, and you can understand in real time, there's so many amazing things that you can do from sentiment scores to keywords to helping agents in popping information when the AI understands what is being said. So I think that there's a lot that happens with analytics. And again, I think that that's a tool. Especially, we talked about this earlier. In a recessionary era, you are looking, probably, again, I don't want to say you're never looking at quality, but if you have to invest and you have budget, you're looking at things that I think can improve efficiencies, can give you insights more than, maybe just doing some of the cool things, right? So Agent Assist, I think, can improve your bottom line. Analytics, and I've kind of gone back and forth. Is analytics important in this time period? I think we're starting to see, especially again with all of our retail clients, the amount of information that we can glean from analytics to give to our retail clients. Again, you always hear me use the phrase, we can tell you that for your new product, 36% of the customers use the phrase too expensive, when they called in, or they talked about a competitor that had a competing product that was lower priced that maybe we didn't know about. So there's a lot that I think that you can use technology for to enhance and to actually make it into a little bit of a profit center. Last thing I want to touch on that I think kind of goes with this and is the use of technology is the Frontier Airlines kind of saga. Again, as I'm recording this, it's the 29th of November. And, about a couple of days ago, Frontier announced that they were going to no longer do voice, right? So there's no call center that you can call, right? Everything is being done through WhatsApp, through digital, and all their social channels, chat. And the other thing is when you initiate a chat, the first thing is you're going to have to deal with a chat bot that is going to, quote unquote, supposed to be this, panacea that's going to help. Again, I think that that's a huge mistake. I have heard from a lot of different friends as I've been posting things on LinkedIn that, they do have a BPO. It is offshore. And, whether it's right or wrong, that the BPO, kind of didn't want to implement some of the newer technologies, because they thought that, their seats would go down and they wouldn't be able to, the revenue stream would be gone. And I think we're losing track again of what technology is, especially what a BPO does. Our job is to support our clients and to support the customers the best we possibly can. If that means it's 150 seats, that's great. If that means it's 10 seats, that's great. I think that's why I love the boutiques, right? Because that's the mentality that we have. We're fine with a 10-seater. If we can do the really cool technology to get our customer talking about us, I think that's huge. But I think that there is a place for technology. I think that there is a place for self-service. I think there is a place for digital. There's a place for all these different things that people talk about. The problem is that we're putting all the eggs in one basket, right? Some customers want to just use digital, not use voice. Some customers just want to use voice, don't want to open up other channels like chat. Like I think those are mistakes too. But when you're forcing channels on customers, especially when you don't have voice, I think it's a really huge mistake. Everybody wants the option to use digital. Not everybody wants to be forced to use digital. And I think you lose a large customer base, right, that is not as technologically savvy as some of us. Now, granted, Frontier Airlines, I'm sure they're, I don't know, maybe it's a stereotypical having a younger demographic, but I still think it's kind of a mistake, especially from what I'm hearing from friends too. They were under 100 seats, right? So, what you could do, what they could do even with a boutique from a technology standpoint and from a quality of service standpoint, I think is something that they need to look at, because maybe the short term, this will be fine, but over the long term, this is going to be something that is going to be an issue. Now, maybe they're just trying to boost their profits too and boost their EBITDA because they're looking to be bought, because they've been looking to be bought about 42 times by things like Spirit. And I think there's a couple other airlines, but again, use technology where it's assisting your agents, where it's assisting your customers. Don't think that your technology is being just used as a cost savings. Not to say there's anything wrong with the cost savings. I'm just saying, don't say what it's not, right? If that's what you're trying to do, totally understand, totally get it. Come up with a plan and kind of figure that out. But don't act like, this is actually better for your customers, is what Frontier's doing too, which, they're kind of trying to pull the wool over. So, all right, well, that's kind of what I got for you guys this week. I hope that helps. I hope that that's interesting. A lot of things to think about when it comes to your budget for next year from the technology stack. If you have any questions, I'd love to help you with it. I'm more than happy to kind of consult or do some free stuff to talk to anybody who is a podcast listener, to see if I can, give you guys any value when it comes to some of the things that we're utilizing in our contact center right now, and what would be the most bang for your buck when it comes to looking at 2023, which could be a kind of a rocky year. But again, I hope that helps you guys, and I'll talk to you all next week.